Focus! One person writes a few lines of code, and suddenly, bam, $1 billion empire is born. That's the story we tell. The lone programmer in a hoodie, changing the world overnight. But here's the truth, over 90% of startups fail, and almost none collapse because the code didn't work. They fail because there wasn't a team to sell it, scale it, or support it. So why do we keep glorifying the lone genius when it's almost always a group effort? This is Free Wisdom, where we break myths, reveal truths, and find the lessons hidden in plain sight. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one. So let me ask you, does one brilliant coder really build an empire, or is that just the story we love to tell? We cling to the lone wolf fantasy because it's simple, clean, heroic. One person, one laptop, $1 billion breakthrough. But reality is messy. Code can spark a product, but it can't sell it, scale it, or save it from failure. Here's the truth, and I'll repeat it for emphasis. Without design, code is confusing. Without marketing, code is invisible. Without leadership, code is directionless. Think of it like a rocket. The engine gets all the glory, but without fuel, guidance, and a launch crew, it never leaves the ground. A startup isn't a solo act, it's a system, not a script. Systems survive where soloists sink because real startups are symphonies. Success isn't one note, it's the harmony of many. Let's talk about Facebook. The legend says, Zuckerberg, dorm room, laptop, genius idea, boom, billionaire. But that's the polished myth. The reality? He had Eduardo Saverin putting up money, Dustin Moskovitz coding beside him, Sean Parker guiding the vision. And later, Sheryl Sandberg turning Facebook into a business machine. Now, picture it without them. No money, no team, no strategy. Just Mark, a laptop, and an idea floating in the void. Would Facebook still exist? Probably not. One person may spark the flame, but it takes a team to keep the fire burning. Take Apple. Everyone says, Steve Jobs built it. But truth is, without Wozniak's engineering, Johnny Ive's design, and a marketing army to sell the vision, Apple would have stayed a garage project. Look at Tesla. People imagine Musk soldering wires in a basement. In reality, he joined a team of engineers already building electric cars. He added money, vision, and storytelling, but he didn't build the batteries himself. Even Google. Yes, Page and Brin wrote the first algorithm. But without Eric Schmidt, investors, and thousands of engineers, Google doesn't become Google. See the pattern? The lone genius starts the spark, but it's the team that builds the fire. Startups aren't solo performances, they're orchestras. Code is the violin, it's beautiful, but without drums, brass, and a conductor, it's just noise. Together, it becomes music. And here's the danger of believing the myth. Young coders think if they just grind long enough, they'll build the next billion-dollar startup by themselves. But they burn out. They isolate. They waste years chasing an impossible image. Meanwhile, the real winners? They're out building teams, sharing credit, combining strengths. The myth doesn't just mislead, it robs people of collaboration, which is the real superpower. So what's the smarter path? First, master your craft. Be the best coder, designer, or marketer you can be, but know your limits. Next, find your complements. Coders need storytellers. Visionaries need builders. Lone wolves don't survive long. Finally, measure success not by what you do alone, but by what you create together. Teams scale, individuals stall. Want to dive deeper? Team of Teams by General Stanley McChrystal because it shows how flexible groups win in complex worlds. Creativity Inc. by Ed Catmull because Pixar's success wasn't one genius, it was a culture of collaboration. And The Lean Startup by Ries because it explains how startups thrive on feedback, iteration, and teamwork, not solo heroics. So, here's my challenge to you. If you're coding alone in your room, ask yourself, who's missing from my story? Who can amplify my work, sharpen my blind spots, or bring balance where I can't? Don't chase the lone genius fantasy, build the dream team, that's how real empires rise. Drop your thoughts in the comments, who would you want on your startup squad? Because at Free Wisdom, we're not here to glorify solo myths. We're here to celebrate the power of teams.